What are the benefits of weighted blankets? Well, there's over 20 clinically proven benefits of weighted blankets, but I'm just going to hit a few of the highlights. Hi, it's Dr. Rimka, and today we're going to talk about the benefits of weighted blankets. So I'm in my son's room. I don't normally film in here, but I'm sitting right on his bed with what he describes as a little slice of heaven. I first came across weighted blankets in private practice because they've been traditionally used in the autism spectrum and sensory integration disorder field. So lots of occupational therapists and special needs teachers and clinicians, if you have these clients, we use weighted blankets. They really aren't this nice. You usually buy them from occupational and physical therapy outlets, and often don't even have fabric in case of children's fluids that could be all over things and you want to keep things clean. So we use them to lay on to create weight because the act of some compression changes your body chemistry, and particularly inside the brain. So it's really, really amazing that we were using them for years in the clinical world, but now they've become more mainstream and people are getting them for home use. In fact, I own 3 weighted blankets just in my little house, okay? So let's go through what are the benefits and why you may want to consider autism spectrum disorder, sensory integration disorders, and ADHD. They're all very similar, actually have very symptomatology. Well, whether for children or adults, it brings a lot of soothing effect, and we're going to go into why that is. But overall, we're looking at decreasing anxiety and improving sleep. It makes the body feel safe to have more weight and compression. Think someone hugging you. Hugs are good, right? It's compression therapy actually can also be augmented. A lot of kids wear vests to school, tight vests, and it helps. Think of the thunder vests for your cats and your dogs when there's a storm outside. Same principle, okay? Compression eases and calms the nervous system, increases parasympathetic, turns off parts of the brain that are in the fight or flight state. The same can be said to use a weighted blanket on yourself at home while you're sleeping, chilling on the couch, whenever you would feel, even in your lap while you're, say, working at a desk. You can have good benefits. So we know it decreases anxiety. By doing that, it also increases focus and increases your sense of safety. Remember, a freaked out, panicked brain cannot learn and focus and concentrate. Huge benefits in sleep. So sleep improvement and the quality goes up from a number of ways, and I'll tell you about that in a second. Mood, uplifting mood benefits, and lowering blood pressure. So let's just talk about these briefly, a little bit why that is. Cardiovascular disease is the number 1 killer in the United States, and blood pressure, high tension, high pressure constricting those arteries is driving it. And a lot of that has to do, stress induces a lot of that, dietary choices, complicated issue. But if we can be decreasing the pressure, we can be help saving the inflammation that's happening on your arterial walls and the plaquing and atherosclerosis and decreasing things. How does some of this go on? Well, one, I hope I don't fall asleep. He really does call this heaven. The compression of this increases serotonin levels. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter in your brain that gives you like a happiness feeling. And by doing this, we can increasing serotonin through something as passive as the blanket you're using at night does help with depression, OCD, ADHD, and things that are associated with serotonin imbalances. It also increases oxytocin. That is what we consider the love hormone or the connection hormone. Oxytocin gets released, in high doses. It's very famous for mothers and babies and how we bond with our babies is through this chemical. Falling in love is oxytocin, but you get that when someone hugs you. Oxytocin goes up really big at night if someone's holding you and hugging you in bed. Well, you can get the feeling, my 15-year-old son actually wouldn't mind me hugging and holding him in bed so much, but we all need our space. So he has a weighted blanket. Also, in terms of that, what it's doing with the serotonin and oxytocin and how that overall then is decreasing anxiety, it's very, very good for panic attacks and PTSD. Panic attacks are very prevalent in people with PTSD. And getting poor sleep is clinically shown to increase your likelihood of panic attacks the next day. So restoring deep sleep is truly the number one thing you can do for your overall health, period. Whether that's for mental symptoms such as anxiety, panic, right? Brain-based things, OCD, good sleep is paramount. And children with OCD, ADHD, autism are historically and clinically notoriously struggling with sleep already at very young ages. Sleep becomes a very hard thing for them to wind down. Because the weighted blanket, what it does, so it's helping improve sleep based on any insomnia issues of mental overwhelm and busyness. And so by allowing your nervous system to kind of uncoil in a supernatural, easy way. Again, imagine when you would get scared and you want to run to your parents' bedroom and then they hold you tight and suddenly you can fall right asleep. There's a real physiological reason that weight and hugging and compression helps the system calm down. So when we improve sleep and lower insomnia and get deeper sleep because we're safer, well, this is the big time in your day that you decrease inflammation inside your brain, decrease toxicity inside your brain, and therefore improve memory. Lack of sleep leads to lower memory from a part of your brain called the hippocampus starting to shrink from all that inflammation. So brain detoxification happens from sleep. So let's look at better memory, better learning from the day, deeper sleep, more recovery, less inflammation all over, actually less toxicity everywhere in your body because you're able to get things really doing what you're supposed to be doing. So overall, those are my top benefits. They do work. This is my son's. I have another one I ordered too. They're heavy. So Calm. This one so far these are the third ones I've ever owned. So my son, I'm divorced and we're in 2 houses and we bought some from quite a few different places. And what happens is that the things inside can shift and not be consistent all over the place. And so you end up with the foot is heavy, but nothing appears heavy. So this is perfectly balanced. It's super soft. It's got that velour feeling. He loves the cover of it. He just described it. He's been using weighted blankets for years. And when he opened this and used it for the first time, he's been saying, it's like heaven. This is the best one ever. So I got him another one so he can use this one as an upgrade at his dad's house. And just for another pro tip, for just sleep alone, improving sleep, since it's super important. And yes, this is a sleep thing, but it's also for your children with anxiety and sensory issues, and super, super important. We also have a chili pad on his bed. I'll have the links for the Calm blanket, my favorite weighted blanket, and the chili pad. This is considered one of the best sleep hack devices on the market. I have about 3 that I think are the best ways to help improve your sleep, but this brings your body temperature down there's a whole pad on his bed and a machine underneath that we put distilled water in, and he controls the temperature and he gets it really low, 55 degrees, and cold air comes through the sheet and keeps his body temperature, lowers his core all night long. And then he has this. Now Chili Pad also has a cooled weighted blanket now. They didn't have that before. It's a brand new thing. We're in 2020. So I had already bought him the pad for Christmas. So we have that on his bed, and we have the weighted blankets, but there is an option that the 2 have been combined. I haven't personally tested the Chili Pad combination, but Chili Pad makes an amazing products. So if you want to look at that, it's a little bit more money to obviously combine the 2, right? Than to have just this. So if you just want a weighted blanket, Calm is the way to go. It's outstanding. If you want to really push it, you want to go ahead with one that'll keep you cool, get a Chili Pad chilled weighted blanket. They can be a little bit warm. I do find that, so it's really amazing in the winter if you have any issues and keep your house real cool, because the weighted blanket seems to add a little bit more heat than a typical down comforter. Hope that helps you make a decision to know how you can be in charge of lowering anxiety, um, boost your mood, uh, lower blood pressure, and get deeper, better, more restorative sleep. Have a good one.